Hello everyone, it is Jamarcus, and I'm here with week 3 of the RQA. We are faced off against Tennis, who has a very strong team, some fantastic offensive threats, some good pivots, a lot of good pivots actually, and some good bulk as well with the Terra captains. So looking at our matchup here, I think Enamorous looks okay. I think either Boulder or Iron Moth are going to be booster energy, so that it's going to get outsped and killed though. Darkrai is nice. It outspeeds their whole team. It's really good against Boulder. It's faster. It kind of forces them to run booster speed, or I'm just faster. I think Keldeo looks okay. It really struggles with Primarina and Mandibuzz though. And then as for some defensive options, Metagross is fantastic this game. It's pretty good into Boulder, good into Kyurem, especially with the Shuca Berry, which is what I ended up bringing. Pretty bad into Mandibuzz though, which you're noticing a lot of trends here. Mandibuzz is really good into my team, which is what Enamorous is going to have to help with. And then Dragalge is my Iron Moth answer. It's a fantastic Iron Moth answer, just have to watch out for Psychic. And then my last one was Rotom Heat. I just wanted a pivot. I wanted something for Scizor. It also helps with Sandy Shocks. So we're kind of just jumping into it quick. I didn't bring either Terra Captain. I really wanted to bring Brute on it at first, but it just gets hard-walled by Mandibuzz. It has Overcoat, so I can't Spore it. I can't touch this thing. Even Terra Fight in close combat, it's gonna roost off. I really can't bring Brute on it, seeing as that thing is showing up. I think it was worth considering Carbink. It's okay against Moth. With Terra, it's fine into Scizor, fine into Sandy Shocks. They don't have a Ghost type, so Body Press could be good, but it didn't end up making the team. So here's what I brought. Keldeo, Physical Keldeo. Why did I bring Physical Keldeo? This thing is my late game win con. Outspeeds and kills with close combat, Aqua Jet, Poison Jab, Aqua Jet, close combat. It really struggles with Mandibuzz and the Terra Captains, but generally late game Physical Keldeo is fantastic. It helps especially into their late game sweepers, which I'm expecting. So Aqua Jet's going to be fantastic there. I have Expert Belt just to help with some rolls, killing this thing with Aqua Jet, killing this thing with Poison Jab depending on the set. Although, maybe an item that helps into Mandibuzz would have been better. I really need to hope they don't bring Brave Bird, they only bring Dark moves. Best case, they bring like Knockoff, U-Turn, Roost, Defog. I don't even know if that thing gets Defog anymore, but so just Knockoff being their only attacking move into me would help activate my Justified. It doesn't do much damage. If they bring Foul Play or Brave Bird, Keldeo has a tough time. Metagross is so good here, probably the best Pokemon on my team into theirs. Getting Stealth Rocks up is fantastic for a lot of their Pokemon, although Mandibuzz will probably be Boots. But Bullet Punch is fantastic into some of their offensive threats, and then Earthquake is nice coverage as well. Heavy Slam also hits things very hard, doing like 70% to a Primarina. Then I have Rotom Heat with Boots. I just have Nasty Plot Wisp, and then typical Rotom moves, Overheat, Volt Switch. They do have double ground, so Volt Switch isn't the best option, but neither of them want to be taking an Overheat unless this thing is Terrid and has thick fat. So this thing's just going to help me pivot around, helps me switch into Scizor and Sandy Shocks a little bit. Dragalge is my answer for Iron Moth. It's a fantastic Iron Moth answer. I'm bringing Physical with Gunk Shot, just because it does a lot more damage into Primarina, but also Gunk Shot just does a lot into a lot of their team. And then Dragon Tail to phase things out if an Iron Moth starts setting up, and Flip Turn just for a pivot, and Toxic last move can help a little bit with their Terra Captains and Mandibuzz. I have Scarf Darkrai just in case Booster Boulder shows up. That's how I'm going to avoid losing to Booster Swords Dance Boulder. Foul Play, because that always kills Boulder, whereas Dark Pulse usually won't, or it won't even after Rocks. I need quite a bit of chip for Dark Pulse to kill. I have Thunder just because their only Dark resists are both weak to Electric. And then I have Trick last move. I lost week 1 because I clicked Trick on my Scarf, or on my choice Darkrai. Hopefully that won't happen again. Last mon was Enamorous with a new nickname, which is actually an anagram. And I have Subcom Mind with Expert Belt. Expert Belt is not the best item here. It hits a fair bit super effectively, but it really struggles with a Primarina and really struggles with their Terra Captains as well. I have Substitute because I can set up a sub pretty freely on Mandibuzz. And Enamorous is basically the only thing on this team that helps against Mandibuzz. Rotom's also fine, maybe clicking Toxic on it, but Mana Buzz is a huge problem for this team. Let's see how the game went. So, nothing too surprising. They just brought their top 6. I was expecting a Terra Captain, or not top 6, sorry. No Scizor. Mana Buzz showed up, which sucks to see. If that thing stayed home, would have been fantastic. No Terra Captains on either side. They bring the Sandy Shocks, which I was really hoping would not show up. I was counting on a Terra Captain instead. But Sandy Shocks shows up, and I have no ground type, which means that thing's going to be clicking Volt Switch this game for free. So looking off lead, Metagross was always my lead intention. It lives a hit, kills this, lives a hit, and actually Heavy Slam is pretty weak into this thing, so not a great lead if they lead into with Kira, but good enough. Mandibuzz, bad lead, but I can switch easily. Iron Moth, I can switch easily. Primarina doesn't want to take a Heavy Slam. So Metagross was a fine lead matchup. I really thought they were going to lead Sandy Shocks, which was not a great lead for me. But I figured 5 out of 6, I'll take Metagross. If they lead Sandy Shocks, I can go Rotom. Maybe I can go Dragalge, but probably not. So I lead, and of course, they lead Sandy Shocks as a surprise to nobody. No ground type, they're just going to click Volt Switch for free. I thought there was no way they're clicking a ground move here. I have a Rotom. I want to get my rocks up. So they do click Volt Switch, they do a lot of damage. And I get my rocks up as they go Mandibuzz. I go Enamorous because that's my answer for Mandibuzz, and they click U-turn as expected. And they go back into Sandy Shocks. I thought this was a very odd play by them. If I'm Specs, I just kill you with Earth Power. Even if I'm Expert Belt like I am, Earth Power has a good shot at killing. So I thought, okay, they're probably Scarfed. I better switch. I go into Dragalge because it's an electric resist. They're not going to click a ground move there. And then they go into Kira. I figure, okay, either a Dragon, Ice, or a ground move are coming out here. They're all super effective into me. Metagross is my switch into this. If they click Specs Draco, the next one's going to kill me. Specs Earth Power, the next one's going to kill me. Ice Beam, maybe I'm okay. But Metagross is my switch into this, so I'm going to go Metagross. They go for Draco. They reveal that there's choice specs. I live. I knew I would live that. And now I'm threatening a bullet punch. I know they're specs though, so I should just go into Enamorous. This was a very bad play by me. I stay in with Metagross and just click bullet punch, which is going to let in Mandibuzz for free. Or even something like an Iron Moth could come in here. But probably not, because I'm thinking they're going to be Booster Moth for their late game sweeping. So they click Draco. I have no reason to not go Enamorous here. It would be a fantastic switch into anything. Maybe if they go Sandy Shocks, that sucks, but I can go into Rotom. It's fine. So I definitely should have gotten Enamorous here, but I stay in and click Bullet Punch. Had I switched into Enamorous there, I would have gotten a free sub. They would have gone Primarina, and I would have been able to start setting up. But that does not happen. I go Rotom on the U-turn, and they bring in Boulder. I see they take rocks. I see they're not boosters, so I'm thinking they're Choice Band. I know Darkrai will live a Choice Band Mighty Cleave, which I expect them to go for there. And I see that they are not Choice Band. So I'm thinking maybe they're double Scarfed. I'm thinking their Sandy Shocks is Scarfed too. Maybe this is Scarfed. I don't know. So they go Primarina on my Darkrai, of course. And I just click Foul Play because that's what's going to kill this Boulder. Maybe that was too obvious of a play. I could have made a prediction and clicked Thunder there, which was my coverage for both Mandibuzz and Primarina. Also, me clicking Foul Play, I can't see if this thing's Assault Vest or what its defensive EVs are like. Had I clicked Dark Pulse and seen that I did 15%, I would know they're Assault Vest. So now I'm forced to switch out here. I go Metagross just to sack it. They click Flip Turn. I figured they would click Flip Turn there, so maybe I could have switched. Keldeo really aggressive. If they click Moonblast and I lose that thing, it's terrible. I could have gone Dragalge, but I'm wanting to keep that thing healthy for Iron Moth. So Sandy Shocks comes back out. I go into Rotom. I figure they're going to have Power Gem, but it's not going to kill me. I still don't know if they're Specs or Scarf. Even a Specs Power Gem will not kill me. So they click it, and I click Overheat on this thing. I just want damage on this thing. I need it to be dying to a +2 Keldeo Aqua Jet, because at this point I'm looking at Keldeo and I know it's my late game win con, but I need damage on Mandibuzz for that to happen. So they click Power Gem. I'm very confident that they are Choice Scarf here. So I switch into Keldeo. Now, this turn, I think think I click Close Combat because if they're Scarf, I'm faster, or they're faster, they don't do much. And if they are not Scarf, I'll outspeed and kill them. So Mana Bus comes in here, I get a little bit more chip. I switch as they click U-turn. I didn't want to let a Roost go unpunished, so that's why I went Rotom here. This thing is getting low, which is nice, but it still does not die to a +2 Close Combat. Based on that damage, Close Combat's doing 46% after I click Swords Dance. That's terrible damage. This thing needs to take more chip. So they go into Sandy Shocks, and I just sack Rotom. Again, I'm very confident that they are Choice Scarfed here. So I go Enamorous because I know a Power Gem will not kill me. And I just click Earth Power, which is hitting their whole team. I do 14% to Primarina, which tells me this thing is Assault Vest. I clicked Substitute there because I thought they would Flip Turn. Flip Turn will not break my sub, but unfortunately they clicked Draining Kiss. So I figured Enamorous is here, it's in. Let's start clicking Calm Mind. They click Draining Kiss, and they get Cute Charmed, which is pretty nice. They go into Sandy Shocks as I set up a sub. I didn't know they were Scarf for sure here. If they weren't, they would be in a terrible position. I have a sub up, I would kill them. But of course they are Choice Scarfed. They break my sub with Volt Switch. They go back to Primarina. I click Earth Power here. That was a bad play. I definitely should have just clicked Moonblast. They're always going back into this thing. Moonblast actually would have killed there with the extra damage. It would have been close. An extra 8%. It's close, but Moonblast was definitely the play. I go Darkrai just to kill this thing. And I have 3 Pokemon and I just got my first kill. It's not looking great, although Keldeo can definitely win late game. Boulder's in range of +2 Aqua Jet, this thing's dying, Kyurem's dying, Moth is dying. It's just that Mana Buzz, which is a problem. So I need damage on this. I'm locked into Foul Play, so I switch into Dragalge. This thing is getting low. Taking U-turn chip. Moth is a problem, but I know that I'm going for late game Keldeo win, so I know this Moth is dying to an Aqua Jet anyways at +2, so I'm not too worried about it. So I know Dragalge needs to... I don't need to keep it healthy anymore. I know I'll live in Earth Power. They reveal Modest, which I knew I would still live. I flip turn, and I go into Darkrai. Alright, Mana Buzz comes out. I have Thunder, which is doing 60% minimum if they're max Fizz Def. So I thought I could click Thunder. It's a roll to kill, and I also have to hit a Thunder. That's pretty unlikely. So I decided to click Trick here. I lost week 1 to Trick. Let's see if it works this time. I know I need to set up on this Mana Buzz because I can't set up Keldeo on anything else. Unless it's this Scarf Boulder and it's locked into a Rock move. So I click Trick. They lose their boots. They're going to take Rocks. And they click Roost. So they're locked into Roost now. I figured they would sack Kyurem there. Here they do. And I just click Dark Pulse. And Dark Pulse again to kill them. Now they're going to bring out Moth here, I know it. And they're probably going to be Booster. And they're probably going to sweep me. But let's see. So they do get their Booster Speed. Keldeo will live a hit from this thing, as long as they don't get a Fiery Dance boost. If they get the Fiery Dance boost, they win. They also have to have Energy Ball, or Discharge, or Dazzling Gleam, which they probably have one of those. So they click Fiery Dance. Do they get the boost and sweep me? They don't. So I bring in Keldeo. This is it. Mana Buzz is at 100% HP, but it's going to take Rock, so it'll be at 75. So even at +2, I'm going to need a high roll crit for this Mana Buzz to die. So I click Swords Dance on their Energy Ball. They don't kill me, and I Aqua Jet to kill them. They bring out Mana Buzz. They've revealed U-turn and Roost. I need to hope they are Defog and Knockoff, because Knockoff will not kill me. I'll get Justified as I Swords Dance again, or Close Combat and go for the crit. But I see that a high roll crit would kill here, so I have to go for it, and I do not get it. And do they have the move to kill me? Foul Play? Yep. There's the Foul Play, and that is going to be game. Their Mana Buzz is going to take down my Dragalge. So that's the game. I think I played very well. I thought I brought a good team. Clicking Trick on Darkrai maybe wasn't the play. Had I just clicked Dark Pulse there, or had Mana Buzz been out. Let's go back to that turn. So on this turn, I click Trick. Had I clicked Thunder and hit there and killed this thing, I would have been locked into Choice Scarf Thunder. They wouldn't know that necessarily. And they could have gone Kyurem. And then Keldeo would have struggled to set up. Actually, no, that's not true. What would have happened is they go Kyurem, I would kill them with a close combat, they would go Moth, and I would sack Trick Galgy, and then go back into Keldeo and click Swords Dance. And then since Mana Buzz was dead, maybe I could have won the game from there. So I think I would have had to go for the trick. Either way, there's going to be luck involved, but I think, or I would have had to go for the Thunder, I mean. Going for the Thunder maybe was the better play here. But if I miss, then the game's over anyways, so I thought I would try tricking the Choice Scarf and hoping they don't have Foul Play or Brave Bird. So that's the game. That brings us to 1-2 in this league, which I think I'm playing some of the best games I've ever played in Draft, despite my record. So I'm proud of how I'm doing. According to the moderators, I've played some of the toughest teams, which I agree with. So hopefully going forward, we'll get some wins, and we will hopefully make it to playoffs. As for my other leagues, the BHA, we're on week 4 now, and then playoffs is going on in PUDL. Still waiting on round 1 to be over for me to get my matchup for quarterfinals. We'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.